Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be smoking a cigarette with my hands, also known as just normally smoking a cigarette. But there are many ways to smoke cigarettes. You can smoke a cigarette with a cigarette holder. You can smoke a cigarette with a fork. You can smoke a cigarette with chopsticks. There's so many ways to smoke cigarettes, it's absolutely wild. So why not just take it back to basics and smoke a cigarette with my hands? And so as such, that's exactly what I'm doing during this video today. And to say the least, I certainly am looking forward to smoking a cigarette with my hands a little bit more so than not. Today, in specific, I'm going to be smoking an American Spirit black cigarette from the United States. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this pack all opened up just like that. Let's go ahead and get one of these cigarettes all out of my pack. And let's go ahead and now just hold my cigarette in my hand, switch it to my other hand, smoking a cigarette not just with my hand today, with my hands, plural, with both my hands. So, yep, just smoking a cigarette with both my hands today, you know, both hands at once. Gotta do it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get my lighter out of my pocket with my hands as well, or just with, I guess, one hand in this scenario. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this cigarette lit up. What was I about to say? I think I was about to say, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this cigarette all lit up. But then I just completely lost my train of thought for some reason, and I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Just completely lost my train of thought. But, without further ado, let's go ahead and get the cigarette that I've got in my hand, with my hand, held in my hand, right now, all lit up, with my lighter that's in my other hand. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to smoking a cigarette with my hands today. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Now, right off the bat, I gotta admit, this is, pretty pleasant. This is pretty pleasant, It's just very easy to hold my cigarette in my hand. It's really easy, frankly put. I mean, like holding a cigarette in a fork, or maybe with like a Leatherman, or with rusty pliers, or with chopsticks, or with a spoon, or maybe a knife, or something like that kind of thing. Sometimes that can be a little bit more difficult, but this, I mean, like, it's really easy. There's a reason why millions of people around the world, if not billions, smoke cigarettes with their own hands every day. It really does make sense, frankly put. Yeah, it just feels so natural to do this. It really does just feel so natural. And maybe it's just because I personally have been smoking cigarettes with my hands for pretty much the last, bit of my life. Frankly put, the last significant bit of my life, I've been smoking cigarettes with my hands. I mean, like every once in a while, I've smoked a cigarette with like a fork or something like that kind of thing, but most of the time I'm smoking cigarettes with my hands, so I guess that's why it feels so natural. I mean, like if somebody had always been smoking a cigarette with a fork or with rusty pliers or with chopsticks, and they had never smoked a cigarette with their hands, I think this might feel a little bit unnatural to them. But since this is something I'm so used to doing, and also since these are my hands, I just have full control of my hands are, well, not the most dexterous by any means, but I mean, like, they're not dexterous either, but since they are my hands, I just have full control of them, and it's just quite easy to smoke a cigarette with my hands, frankly put. Is it easier to smoke a cigarette with my hands than to smoke a cigarette with something like, let's say, a fork, chopsticks, a rusty pair of pliers, maybe a Leatherman, a knife, a skillet, a frying pan, a light bulb, a window, a car, the earth? Is it easier to smoke cigarettes with my hands than with any of those other things? I would have to say, believe it or not, yes. I would have to say, believe it or not, yeah. Wild. Smoking a cigarette with your hands. Yeah, it really is one of those things where it just feels so natural, at least to me. It just comes very natural to me. Maybe it's because I've had lots of practice for, I've been practicing literally for years just for this video. I've been practicing ever since I first started smoking cigarettes. Ever since I had my first cigarette when I was like 16, almost 17 years old. You know, I've been smoking cigarettes with my hands much more so than I have been practicing so much for this video today. And honestly, the practice really has paid off. It really has paid off because this feels so natural. This feels so easy to do. It's wild. But one thing I've just realized is that I've only been smoking this cigarette with one of my hands today. I need to smoke with both my hands because the title of this video is smoking a cigarette with my hands, plural. So I gotta switch my cigarette to my other hand. And I'll acknowledge, it doesn't feel quite as natural to smoke a cigarette with my left hand. I am right-handed, and I do generally smoke cigarettes with my right hand, but every once in a while I'll flip one over to my left hand. But it just doesn't feel quite as natural, I'll acknowledge. And I think that's really down to two main factors. One, I'm right-handed, and two, I just haven't practiced smoking a cigarette with my left hand nearly as much as I have with my right hand. Yeah. Honestly, could be interesting to practice smoking a cigarette with my left hand a little bit more. Could be interesting to do that, frankly put. Huh. How would I rate this experience where I'm smoking a cigarette with my hands against smoking a cigarette with anything else? A cigarette extender, a extra little bit of a cigarette filter, a fork, a little poker you got on the side that you're just kind of smoking from. How would I rate this experience versus any other way to smoke cigarettes? You know, this is pretty solid. This is pretty solid. This is a pretty solid experience in my personal opinion. I mean, like, it just feels so natural. This feels so normal to me. And it's just something that, well, I'm frankly put, I'm very much used to doing. So overall, this feels like a very normal and a very good experience. I'm enjoying a nice taste right now from the American Spirit Black I'm smoking. I'm enjoying a nice little bit of a buzz. I'm feeling good right now. Overall, you know, I gotta admit, it's pretty solid. This is pretty solid. I'd have to say this is like a solid 4 out of 4 experience. Yeah. This is an ultimate experience right here. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Smoking a cigarette with a fork is amazing. But this, it might be even better. That might be controversial to say. I know there's many people out there who love smoking cigarettes with forks. And I know there's many people out there, that's their personal preference. But you know, I like smoking cigarettes with my hands. I do. I do like smoking cigarettes with my hands. And this is just such a good experience. I might be in the minority here, in all honesty. I might be one of the only people in the entire world who prefer smoking cigarettes with my hands. But you know, I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand by it. I do think I should probably grab myself a little bit of a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. So I'm going to go and do that real quick. There's a squirrel up there. I keep getting smoke in my eyes. I'm gonna put on my sunnies, even though I don't need my sunnies right now. But just because I'm getting smoke in my eyes. Hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. Got no complaints on my behalf about a couple hits I took there. I can't keep this up any longer. I thought this would be fun. I thought this would be a funny video to make. I was like, oh, it'd just be really funny to kind of treat smoking a cigarette with your hands, which is what you normally do, generally speaking. I know some people actually might not normally smoke a cigarette with their hands, but that's what I normally do, and I know it's what most people normally do. But I was like, wouldn't it be funny to make a cigarette video all about just smoking a cigarette with my hands, which is like the normal thing you do, and to make it out to be something that's like really wild and really like extreme, and to like push it kind of thing. I was like, wouldn't that be funny? And so as such, that's exactly why I'm making this video today. Just simply because I think it's a funny thing to do, frankly put. Genuinely though, this has been a good experience. And I have enjoyed myself today. I only got a hit or two left of my cigarette. I think I'm gonna go and take those last hit or two. Got to switch to my other hand, you know what I'm saying? Got to make sure I'm not using one hand too much over the other. Although I have been primarily using my right hand during this video today, I will acknowledge. But I think that's just about all I had in my cigarette. Could taste a little bit of filter, so go and just stub it out just like that. And I think that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Thought this would be a funny video to make, and so as such, had to do it to him, you know what I'm saying? Had to do it to him, had to make this video. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. This has been a very fun video to make, and I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a cigarette with my hands, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out, of course. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video where I smoked a cigarette with my hands. To the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?